Hey YouTube, how you doing? Just thought I'd do a little quick update since I cut my dreads, was it 10 days ago, something like that now. Just give you a little bit quick of an update and answer a couple of questions that I've had since I've done it. So I'll give you just a wide angle view of a beautiful beetle, there it is, but also my dreads, that's what you came for. So they're still kind of, some people would say, well, they're still really long. Well, yeah, they are, but they were even longer. So they're still kind of here. So I still have long dreads, right? So yeah, that's fine. But a few things that I've noticed since I've trimmed them. The weight on my neck is profoundly different. So in terms of the movement in my neck, the less restrictive restriction that I feel, that's really apparent. They're just so much easier to handle, and that extra kind of 10-12 inches, that foot that I cut off, just made all the difference in terms of like getting them stuck when you're lying in bed and just being trapped indoors and whatever. They're just like, I mean, dreads have the life of their own anyway, yeah, of course they do, but when they're long like that, it's just crazy. So I've also noticed a difference in washing them as well. The actual drying times is tiny compared to what it was. It's going back to kind of like with a hairdryer, maybe kind of half an hour to dry now, as opposed to like 45 minutes or an hour. It shows a massive difference on how much that extra length really does, because it's not just the extra length holding more water, but it's just how they are to handle. They're just a lot harder to handle when they're longer. Really obvious things, yeah, but I just thought, as I say, I rarely say anything useful when I'm on YouTube anyway, so I just thought I'd give you the obvious, that longer dreads are harder to maintain, and even though I still have kind of long dreads, these are a lot easier to handle. There was a question asked about how I would re-blunt the tips. Well, I have re-blunted the tips, and I just went straight in with a hook. Now, some of you don't like hooks, some of you are okay with hooks, some of you are indifferent to hooks, and that's all good, that's cool. I find the hook really useful when used well and used properly and used delicately. I think it really does make a difference to my dreads. I know I stand in conflict with a lot of people, including my good dreadhead friends who probably wouldn't use a hook. But yeah, so I have blunted the tips again. They're not as neat as they were. And there's a reason why, and it's because I found them really difficult to blunt. And the reason why I did is that I went straight in with a hook without kind of brushing out some of the ends first. If you brush out the end, if you cut your dreads and you want to blunt your tips, you'll find it actually quite difficult, because wherever you're cutting, the dreads compact. If they're mature dreads, so let's take, sorry, this is terrible camera work, I'm holding it. So take this one for example, it's like they're kind of really compact, mature dreads. So if I'm cutting anywhere along here, immediately behind it, the new end that you now have will be compacted hair. So to try and then pull that compacted hair into more compacted hair is going to be really, really difficult. So it did take a while, and they're not perfectly blunted, but they are blunted enough for me to not have that kind of severed look anymore. The kind of like cross edge, like just flat end, kind of like clearly that they've been cut, to make them look in my head kind of just back to the way they were. So they're not as neat. I think if I'd had more time, again because time is precious, if I had more time I may have kind of maybe brushed a centimetre or two out, and then blunted the tips from there. If you do that, then obviously you lose that length as well, and you might find it a lot easier to blunt the tips once you've cut dreads. So a couple of weeks on, I do look back at a few photos of my long dreads and think, oh yeah, they were kind of cool, but I also very quickly remember the pain and the just how hard they were to maintain with it. So I'm very pleased that I've done it. I'm very glad that I've done it, and I would do it again. I'm happy with the new length. I think this length is a good manageable length. They still look like kind of big proper dreads that are halfway down my back, and which is cool, but they're just a lot easier to maintain. So I think this will be my length from now on if you pardon the expression. Oh yeah, that's the other thing as well. Another thing that I realised from a philosophical point of view, I realised that I'd gone over a massive milestone, because those of you who are growing your hair out for dreads, or have put your dreads in and you're on the dread journey for the first time and you're growing your dreads out, that moment where you cut your dreads, it's kind of like, it's like season over. You're going into a brand new season. It's a brand new level of maintenance for dreadlocks. It's kind of saying, yeah, look, I'm a dreadhead for the long term. This isn't just like a short-term project for me, where I'm just going to grow my hair, grow them long, see how long I can get them, and then lock them. And actually, this is me saying, actually, I'm comfortable with dreadlocks. And that sounds funny from somebody who's had dreads for 7 years and grown his hair, not cut his hair for 9 years. But it's kind of, it says to me, look, I love dreads. Dreads is who I am, and I'm going to maintain them, and I'm going to maintain my identity as someone with dreadlocks. This isn't like a short-term thing. And it just made me realise, you know, that part of the season where you kind of almost becomes that, it sounds funny to call it a temporary project, where you're growing your hair out and watching them grow and seeing how long you can get them. That's over now, that's done, and I'm now in a whole new level of maintaining my hair and being comfortable just being a dreadhead, and I love that. It's good, and the shift in your mind when you're knowing how long they are compared to how long they were last year. And for a long time, for those of you who know me on Facebook, I had like some photos every 100 days or so of my hair, and the main change is the length, right? So yes, they do mature and they get tighter, but between years 2 and 7, the main changes was clearly the length and how long the dreads were getting. Now that doesn't matter anymore, because this isn't a challenge anymore to notice how long my hair now is, and how long the dreads are, how long I've grown them out, because I've cut them. So that is no longer a target. It doesn't matter. It's kind of like, well, I can just settle into being a dreadhead and nothing more. And that's cool for me. That's philosophically, that feels good, and it feels good to be a dreadhead where I'm able to do that. So those of you who've had dreads for a long time, you've cut your dreads and you keep them at a level, at a line that you're comfortable with, you'll know what I mean. And yes, there we go. I've got nothing more to say apart from, look at this beetle, isn't it cool? It belongs to the organisation that I work for. It is off the road at the moment, and I would love to go around to festivals in this thing, but it would cost all of my year's salary, I would have thought, to try and keep the flipping thing on the road, because it is old and poorly. But anyway, it's been beautiful chatting to you. If I do come up with any kind of other dread wisdom, then of course I will do that, but you know, maybe this time next year. I'm not going to lie to you. I will always maintain the attitude of, once I've got something to say, I'll go online and I'll say it. So yeah, keep the questions coming, keep the likes coming. If you find what I say valuable, then do share it with other people. If you've got mates who are dreadheads or wanting to be dreadheads, and you feel like what I say makes sense, then give us a like, subscribe and share these videos. That would be really cool. You'll be doing me a favour, and maybe doing some other people a service as well. Maybe. Yeah, guys, have a beautiful day. The sun is shining and all is good in the world. God bless you. Bye.